Hey friends, the Galaxy S24 Ultra is here, the new flagship smartphone from Samsung. I had the opportunity to take a close look at the device at the Unpacked event, and some of you may be wondering whether it's really worth upgrading to the S24 Ultra if you have an S23 Ultra, for example. Or maybe you are in the process of buying a new smartphone and are wondering which one to choose. Questions upon questions, which we will now try to answer. Let's take a look at the actual differences between the S23 Ultra and the S24 Ultra, starting with the design. Not much has changed in terms of size. The S24 Ultra is a 6.8-inch square smartphone, just like the S23 Ultra. However, the display of the Galaxy S24 Ultra is no longer rounded like its predecessor, but completely flat like the other S23 and S24 models. The display edges are also 15% smaller, making it much easier to write on the edges with the S Pen. And yes, the S Pen is also back on board of the S24 Ultra, which I'm personally very pleased about because I use it, well, let's say, regularly. A lot has changed in terms of the materials used. Like the new iPhone, the S24 Ultra now has a titanium frame, which is supposed to be much more robust and durable than a stainless steel frame. The display glass is made of the new Corning Gorilla Armor, which is supposedly even more robust than the Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus used in the S23 Ultra. It should also be less reflective, making it easier to read in sunlight. The 2600 nits maximum display brightness also contributes to this. In comparison, we still had 1750 nits on the S23 Ultra, and that was already pretty bright. I'm really looking forward to seeing what effect the 40% increase in display brightness will have, especially on the battery. And speaking of the battery, this has remained the same size at 5000 mAh. While the S24 and S24 Plus are equipped with the new generation of the company's own Exynos 2400, the S24 Ultra has the brand new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy. In any case, and now it gets really technical, the CPU performance is said to have increased by 18% compared to the S23 Ultra, the performance of the GPU graphics unit by 32% and that of the NPU by 42%. Due to an additionally optimized cooling system, the ray tracing performance is said to have increased by a whopping 57%, and the touch responsiveness is also said to have been improved. To translate this, we have much faster performance, a better cooling system, which in combination will particularly please gamers who play graphically intense games on their smartphone. There have been some small changes to the camera, but I don't know if these are groundbreaking innovations. The S24 Ultra has a 200 megapixel main camera with a 3x optical zoom and a 5x optical zoom. And for all those who are now asking themselves, didn't the S23 Ultra already had a 10x optical zoom? Yes, it did, but no longer has that. Only the 5x optical zoom, which is now equipped with a 50 megapixel instead of the previous 10 megapixel. According to Samsung, the new 5x zoom with the new lens is said to have improved the quality of night shots. To be honest, at first glance, I wouldn't necessarily upgrade because of the camera. That was the hardware of the S24 Ultra. On the software side, Samsung is clearly focusing everything on Galaxy AI this year. For example, new AI functions that are actually revolutionary, which I have already described in detail in my first video, summarizing all the new features. In addition to some really nice smart functions, one new AI function was my absolute highlight, namely that the S24 provides live translation for phone calls. So you continue to speak in your own language and the person on the other end of the line gets what you say translated into their own language by AI. This really is a milestone in international communication. We can now talk to virtually anyone in the world just like that. But it has to be said that this feature is not exclusive to the S24 Ultra. You don't need it, you just need an S24 or S24 Plus. The same applies to all the other new AI functions, which will also be available on the other S24 and S23 and Flip 5 and Fold 5 models, and probably even on older models. What is exclusive but to all S24 models is the 7-year OS and security update guarantee, which is really great. Considering that the S24 Ultra has become €50 more expensive than the S23 Ultra at €1,449 for the smallest model, while the other two models have dropped in price by €15, you have to ask yourself the question, who is the S24 Ultra worthwhile for? Let's briefly summarize the new features on the S24 Ultra. We have a flat display, more robust materials, higher display brightness, better performance thanks to the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy processor. The other highlights, such as the 7-year update guarantee and the new AI functions, are also coming to the other S24 models. In my opinion, there are only 3 reasons why the S24 Ultra is worth buying. Number 1, you don't want a rounded display since the S24 Ultra simply feels better in the hand with its flat display. Number 2, you are a gamer and can benefit from the additional performance. Number 3, you want to retire your old smartphone and are looking for a good new smartphone that you can use for up to 7 years without any problems. For anyone else, the upgrade is, in my opinion, not worth it for purely economic and objective reasons. But when has pure reason ever played the decisive role when buying a new smartphone? Let me know in the comments down below if you are planning to upgrade to the S24 Ultra, and if so, why, and if not, why not? I'm really looking forward to it. Friends, thank you so much for watching. Bye and see you next time. Mwah.